everyone, I'm Olivia Fox, and you're watching Let's Talk Donation with Gift of Hope, Season 2. Welcome back. This is an interactive show where you, the viewers, can call in and ask us any questions that you might have about the topic of organ and tissue donation in our community. We also stream live each week at cantv.org/hotline. If you're outside of our viewing area, you can catch us there. And you can join in our conversation by calling 312-738-1060. If you want to get the question in tonight, live answered, you need to call in before 6:55. Can't wait to talk to you all. I know a lot of you all have been hearing the commercials and we're like, talk donation. What's this show about? What type of donation? Donation of money, donation of charity, donation of education, like what? What are we talking about? In actuality, what we're talking about is a little bit of both. It's actually charity to mankind, fellow man, woman, and child, as well as education about the topic of organ and tissue donation. Each week, myself and my special guests will spend time talking about organ and tissue donation and even more specifically, what minorities need to know about participating in this process. Ultimately, our sole purpose is to give you enough information to dispel myths and misconceptions that have been developed throughout history and that are, well-founded. What we want to give you is facts about the process now so that you can make a good decision about the process. While we want to help our viewers also understand that Gift of Hope is a very trusted community organization and community partner. We recognize that minorities have a fear of healthcare entities, and let's face it, for the last 30 years, there has been reasons. But with advances in modern medicine and transplant physicians, our hospitals and religious communities and Gift of Hope partners have helped our community turn tragedy to triumphs through life-saving organ and tissue donation and really helping people leave a legacy here on this earth. So this week we'll continue our conversation with our very special guests right after this commercial break.
Nikki's donation has made a huge impact on a lot of people. This one right here, sitting next to me especially. When Gift of Hope came to me and asked me for the donation, it made me feel very confident knowing that I can give my baby's heart. This is Nikki's heart beating inside Tanisha's chest.
So when I heard this pounding, like, what is that noise? And the nurse said to me, that's your heart.
I carried Nikki for 9 months. Now Tanisha's going to carry her the rest of her life.
Say yes to donation. Start the conversation with your loved ones today.
Nikki's donations.
So welcome to this week's special guest, Miss Monica Fox. Miss Monica Fox is an advocate for renal patients, both pre and post-transplant. She's on a mission to reduce the transplant waiting list to none, especially here in Illinois. Being a volunteer ambassador with Gift of Hope gives her the perfect platform to live out her mission by helping educate the community with truths about organ and tissue donation. Monica celebrated her first kidneyversary on Thanksgiving of 2017. And also what makes her so special is that she is my connection to donation. This is my mom. So thank you, Mom. Welcome to the show. And I'm so grateful to have you here to talk with our viewers tonight.
Thanks, Olivia. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks. You're my reason for being here, for being, invested in this topic and really finding it important to educate the community, because I know we went through with your story, and this really just means a lot to be able to, share our story to help, change some people's outlooks on this topic of organ tissue donation.
Yes. It's
So
exciting to be able to do it with you.
Thanks. So we got a couple questions. To start, we'll ask, as a transplant recipient, what does organ and tissue donation mean to you?
So to me, organ and tissue donation means love. It means renewal of life and opportunities. Because I have a friend who had a liver transplant, and after having that transplant was able to have 2 children. So if not for the transplant, she may not have had that opportunity. I also have friends that because they've had their transplants, they're able to see their grandchildren be born and grow up and make experiences and make memories with their grandchildren. So that's really a blessing. And for me personally, I just, when I was initially diagnosed with end-stage renal disease, I wasn't sure I'd be able to see you graduate college.
I remember.
And so even though I did not get my gift before you graduated, I did see you graduate. I was there, I was well enough to be there, and I received my gift shortly thereafter. But at that time, I did have hope that my gift was coming. Because in the meantime, I had become more aware of organ and tissue donation and what the process was all about. And I had become aware of the disparity in our community and how long people are waiting. And I was really devastated by that. So that really enlightened me and caused me to want to fight for this cause.
Sounds good. So, looks like we have a caller. You can go ahead and put the caller through. How's it going? Let's Talk Donation with Gift of Hope. Who's the caller?
Hi, my name is Harry Morris, and I'm just calling in to make a comment.
Hey, Harry.
Hi, Harry.
Harry is one of our
Hey,
awesome Gift of Hope ambassadors. What's your question, Harry?
He's gonna make a
Well, I just wanted to make a comment. I wanted to commend you on the good work that you do in the community,
Oh, thanks.
raising awareness about organ donation, and I just wanted to help to get the word out and make sure everybody hears about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your comment, Harry, and thank you for the work that you do throughout the community, because you are actually a very important part of Gift of Hope. If you don't mind me sharing, you as a transplant recipient help to share your story throughout the community, and that really changes a lot of people's outlook on this topic. So if there's anybody out there that's watching, if you have a story about organ and tissue donation, please share it throughout your community, because just the way that it helped you sharing your story can, lead to it helping someone else. So thank you so much for the work that you do throughout the community. You guys might see Harry out at one of our Gift of Hope events, really educating the community with some facts about organ and tissue donation. So thank you so much for your call, Harry.
Thanks a lot, Olivia. Thank you, Monica, too.
Thanks, Harry.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. So back to where we were. I love Harry so much. I love all of our Gift of Hope ambassadors. It just makes my heart smile, because without our ambassadors, I don't know how I would be doing this job, all alone, besides the other community outreach specialists. So you guys are really, really important to us, and sharing your story and getting out there in the community really makes a difference. So I just want to take this moment to say thank you to all of our Gift of Hope ambassadors. So yes, you learning about kind of becoming an expert in transplantation and, donation and everything was kind of a blessing in disguise a little bit, because you were a medical administrator and had been for 25 years. And when you were diagnosed with end-stage renal failure, you had to leave that job.
Yes.
And this kind of became your main focus. So can you talk a little bit about that and why that was important?
Well, it was really important to me because, like you said, I did have to stop working because dialysis is a life-saving treatment, but it also is life-consuming. I would spend at least 5 hours, 3 days a week getting dialysis treatments, and then after that, your energy level is not normal. Right. It's a little low at best. For me, at least, that was the case. So, but my mind was still full and sharp, and I did have the desire and the energy to do something. Mm-hmm. And so I was blessed to be introduced to Gift of Hope and to begin working together with them to help raise awareness, share my story, which also helped me, because whenever you are in a situation of need, and I was in need of a transplant, and possibly a living donor might have been the solution, although mine ended up being a directed donation from a deceased donor. But sharing my story really helped. Mm-hmm. But also just being able to be involved and be appreciated and respected for my intelligence and have that make a difference in the community just meant a lot to me and gave me hope. Hope.
And even during that time, you just educating our family and our friends.
Yes.
You know, sometimes people don't understand this topic until it hits someone close to you, until it affects someone that's in your family or in your circle. So, you know, you really sharing your story was able to educate the people close, very close around us. And that was really, really an awesome thing too, that, you know, that people were moved just from hearing your story.
Yes. In fact, I received a text message from a friend the other day who said, guess what? I went to the Secretary of State's office to renew my driver's license, and I said yes to organ donation because of you.
Yeah.
That really meant a lot.
Yep. And so we get those type of messages, and we get those messages saying that people thought of us, you know, they were in a tragic situation, and because of what they had talked to us about, they were able to say yes to donation. So getting those messages really makes the work that we do every day worth it. Makes
Yes.
everything that we do so worth it.
It does.
So how are you involved with Gift of Hope, and what other organizations do you work with that support this cause? Because I know besides Gift of Hope, there, you know, are other entities that are community partners of Gift of Hope and that do other really cool things. You know, so can you talk a little bit about what you do with us and with others?
Yes. So with Gift of Hope, I'm the director of the South Suburban chapter of Ambassadors for Hope. And we have a wonderful group. Harry is one of the members of our group. But it's comprised of transplant recipients, donor families, caregivers, nurses. We have some dialysis nurses, some retired dialysis nurses.
Family,
We have
friends.
family and friends, and just people who know that organ donation is important and are interested in helping us with this mission. So it's really just a blessing to have that group, and our focus is to try to find ways, fun ways and interesting ways to raise awareness within the South Suburban community. So that's what we do, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of it.
I think so. We've been keeping pretty busy.
Yeah, we've been busy. And so the other organizations that I work with, there are many. I'm a part of Team Illinois.
Awesome. Go Team Illinois.
Yes. So they're now called Transplant Life Illinois. But we're the team that's going to be participating in the Transplant Games of America in Salt Lake City in August of 2018. So I'm excited about that. That's another way to raise awareness about transplantation and organ donation, and also to encourage transplant recipients to live a healthy life, because that's really important. I'm also involved with the National Kidney Foundation. I'm a part of the Kidney Advocacy Committee. We just went to Washington, D.C. to advocate for better regulations, laws for living donors, as well as more early detection for end-stage renal disease, for chronic kidney disease. Also, I'm a UNOS ambassador. So as we know, UNOS is the organization that manages the list that we talk about. Are you on the list? The list is managed by UNOS.
Not Gift of Hope.
Not Gift of Hope. So the list of people waiting for transplants is managed by UNOS, which is another non-for-profit organization. And that is their focus. But they also, like Gift of Hope, raise awareness within the communities about transplantation and organ donation.
Yep.
So I also am involved with the American Association for Kidney Patients, so I'm an advocate for them as well. And we do some similar things that National Kidney Foundation does, but this is a completely patient-run. The board is all patients with kidney disease or transplants. So those are some of the great things that I am able to do to help to continue this mission, because my mission is to try to help get the number of people waiting for transplants down to zero. There are way too many people waiting. I received my gift, but there are way too many people still waiting for transplants. So it's important to raise awareness.
Yep. And so I kind of want to go back to what you said about when you were talking about Team Illinois and the transplant games, and how part of it is really about not only honoring donor families but also transplant recipients and help and encouraging to continue to live a healthy life. So we often talk about when you get a transplant, this is your new life.
Yes.
So it's a new normal. So, you know, you're not going back to how you were before you had your illness. It's a new life. So can you talk a little bit about what that means and some of the things that you've done to kind of, you know, kickstart your new normal and how you've been able to, you know, come right out of your surgery and, you know, be doing pretty well right after, and now you're back to work a little bit over a year after, and you went back to work even sooner than that. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, well, you know, basically we all should be living a healthy lifestyle. And when I was on dialysis, there was a whole list of things that I should eat and things that I shouldn't. And so I did follow those instructions, and it helped me to get through dialysis in a way that was I was able to function much better. So that was a good thing. And also, I kept active, like I said, volunteering, and also...
Because after dialysis, you wouldn't have to go lay down in the bed. You would be able to get up and keep going and go speak for Gift of Hope or go
Right.
speak with Secretary of State's Life Goes On program. So, you know, I think really your diet and your lifestyle that you paid really, really close attention to really made that difference, because
It
you hear
did.
about people that have to go home and get in the bed, and that's
Right.
a hard life.
It's a hard life, yeah. So I did, and that helped me to stay healthy and to stay ready for transplant, because that's important. You have to be healthy enough to get a kidney transplant, because if not, yeah, you know, there's lots of things that can happen that will prohibit you from getting a transplant. So when I did receive my transplant, I felt 200% better instantly. And so then the diet changes. Then you are looking at living with a heart healthy diet, which is a great diet for everybody. So it doesn't make you feel deprived. You just have to be conscious of your salt intake and limit fast foods and fried foods and that kind of thing. And so I've been focusing on that, as well as participating. I was fortunate enough to be able to participate in a post-transplant exercise study that is being sponsored by University of Illinois at Chicago, where I received my transplant. So for a year, I worked out with a trainer for twice a week for an hour, and really was able to renew my muscle strength back to normal, because dialysis and my illness and then dialysis had really caused a lot of muscle atrophy and deterioration.
And then also learning how to work out for you, because your workout is not the same as my workout, but that doesn't mean that you're not working out or you're not doing something really good. So that's what you were able to learn.
Exactly. And now that program is over, I have the confidence to be able to work out, go to the gym and work out, and talk to the other trainers there and let them know really what my limitations are and what I am able to do. And, you know, so I am really better in touch with my body. And
I've been so proud of you in the gym, girl.
Yeah, it's been good. I'm excited.
Good. So, as an ambassador, as a community member, as a transplant recipient, what do you think that Gift of Hope can do better in disseminating information and educational information throughout communities? What can we do better?
Well, I think that Gift of Hope is doing a great job. It's a huge job, because there's so many people that don't understand and that are unaware of the issues. So I think they're doing a good job, but I think that to connect with some other organizations, like fraternities and sororities and other community organizations, to help spread the word,
Takes notes.
we could multiply our manpower, so that we're reaching more people at a time, because people are so afraid of the conversation that it needs to happen around the kitchen table. It needs to happen in settings that are comfortable and familiar. So the more people that talk to their friends and family about it from an educated level, so if Gift of Hope educates the organizations, the fraternities, the sororities, the community organizations, and then those people spread their wings and go out and speak just even to their family
Right.
and friends and start those conversations. We will see a huge difference.
Because if you think about it, it's actually an interesting choice that you get to make. It's an interesting idea that you can leave a legacy after you leave this earth, that you can, you know, help save someone else's life and you can live on through someone else. So, you know, for people to ask this question, sometimes if you don't think about it, you might not realize, you know, you might not even realize. So if you have these conversations, you're like, that's actually a really cool thing. And then, you know, finally just make that decision. So I think that that's a really, you know, good point that you bring up, just having this conversation around the dinner table.
Yeah.
Anything
You have
else?
to make it normal.
Yeah.
You have to make it normal. It's an okay conversation.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the big ugly elephant in the room.
And you know, my favorite thing to say is that there's only one thing that's promised to us in this life. We plan for everything in our life. We know what we're doing tomorrow. We know when our next vacation is. We plan for everything except the one thing that's promised to us all, and that's death. And so this is a decision that you can make about what happens to you after a time when you can't make decisions for yourself anymore. So really, really respect that decision and take pride in making that decision. And, you know, knowing what your loved ones' wishes are and what they will want. Have pride in knowing that information and planning that for yourself, because that's really important to plan. We do it for everything else except the one thing that's promised to us. So looks like we only have about 5 minutes left. So we'll wrap up with, since this is National Donate Life Month, I don't know if you guys can see our cute little table tents in our background. April is National Donate Life Month, so we work extra hard, even though we work all year. In April, we work extra hard to share the good news about organ and tissue donation and to really just raise awareness about this topic everywhere in the community. So we're literally busy 24/7 in April. So with this being National Donate Life Month, what is one thing that you wish people would understand about organ and tissue donation, or what's one fact that you would want to leave our viewers with?
I wish that everyone knew and understood the process, and that they knew it's not like it happens on TV and in the movies. They have to do that on TV and the movies to make it interesting to watch. But that's not really how it works. So I wish everyone knew that and believed that.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything on TV is sensationalized. You know,
Yes.
what happens in real life is not quite as exciting. And of course, this only becomes a conversation usually, you know, during the most tragic time in people's lives. So this is something that Gift of Hope takes a lot of respect and care with each part of the process, because we have everyone that works from community education to nurses that work in hospitals to people that work out at our corporate headquarters. We have a lot of different roles throughout Gift of Hope, and everybody really takes a lot of pride in working with donor families and really helping to help families honor their loved ones and help them leave a legacy through organ and tissue donation. That is our main goal, is to save and enhance as many lives as possible through organ and tissue donation. So our call to action this week and every week is to please say yes to organ and tissue donation. Register on your driver's license through the Secretary of State's Life Goes On program if you have not already, and at least have the conversation with your loved ones today. We want you to check us out at giftofhope.org. If you have any questions or if you would like to partner with Gift of Hope, you can reach me at ofox@giftofhope.org. And do you have any final words, Mom?
Yes, in my final words, I just want to pay honor to all the donor families, especially mine, because Milton is my hero, and Marquita and Georgia and Regina and the whole family, Janelle, I love them. I had the opportunity to meet them. But I just want everybody to know, yes, I just want everybody to know that so many donor families find peace and joy after the process of donation, and knowing that their loved one has saved a life, enhanced a life, or many more. So that is a fact. That's what happens. Tragedy turns to triumph. The end of a story is not over once that tragedy happens. when several other lives go on because of that tragedy, it's a triumphant thing. And donor families, I love them, and they find peace and joy. Many of them have told me this and are able to go on because of donation.
So that's going to be it for this week. Each week we're going to have a really awesome special guest and sometimes even a special guest host. So catch us each Tuesday at 6:30 right here on CAN TV. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining Let's Talk Donation. Have a good one.